Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay.
Good morning and welcome back to all the participants for the second session of the AICTE sponsored 1-week STTP program. And with the kind consent of our principal and convener, we are again starting the second session of this webinar series, STTP program. And for this session, we have our esteemed speaker, Dr. Prabhu Raj. So I take this privilege to introduce our guest for this session. Dr. Prabhu Raj is a professor and head Department of Agricultural Entomology, College of Agriculture and PG Center, Raichur. Sir holds a PhD degree in biocontrol of white grubs. And Sir has quite a few research accomplishments to his credit. He has designed and developed ESAP, which enables identification of pests and diseases and nutritional disorder of major agricultural horticultural crops, writes in the farmers, fields and provides advisory. He has also developed ESAP technology, which is currently being adopted throughout Karnataka state, empowering officers of agriculture and horticulture department of government of Karnataka for crop health management. He has also developed an effective, eco-friendly and economical IPM strategy for H. armigera in chickpea by integrating H. indica with other biopesticides. Sir has quite a few academic honors and recognitions to his credit. He is a recipient of ICAR Jawaharlal Nehru National Award for his PhD in the year 2000. He is also a District's Young Scientist Award recipient for outstanding contribution in the field of agricultural entomology. He is a recipient of University of Agricultural Science Gold Medal for having completed his agriculture and agricultural entomology with distinction. He is also a recipient of WSIS 2018 prize instituted by UNO ITU for ESAP applications. Sir has quite a few publications to his credit in both national and international journal, which are peer reviewed. He has a total of 113 publications. Sir, on behalf of the management, principal, directors, the HOD, staff and student, I take this a privilege to welcome you to this session, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind introduction and good morning to all. First of all, I would like to thank the department, the college and the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my experience with respect to the ESAP, a very novel application in the field of crop health management. And I would like to highlight on the concept on which it has been developed, the features and the functionalities of this application. Though for a biotechnology group that it might looks like an extension kind of an work, but a lot of research has gone into it, and also it opens up the path that how an IT application can be developed in such a complex situation, especially the crop health management system. You know, the crop health management is a very dynamic field, just like our human health. But we have taken this as a challenge and then came out with this novel application. Well, with this introduction, I will just directly go to the PPT that I am going to share to you. Okay.
So that up arrow next to that red button, you can click that.
Yeah, I have clicked it, and it is
you will get
different. Okay, I have to show. I have to share the screen now.
Screen. You share screen, sir. Click screen.
Yeah.
Yes, and now minimize this Teams and open your PPT. Sir.
Yeah. Now I think you can.
Yes. Sir, please put it on slideshow mode, sir.
I think we have. I have done it. Is it okay?
No. Yeah, it is. Now it's fine, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Now slides are moving. Can you able to see this?
First slide, it is in first slide, sir.
Yeah, now I
Yes.
moved on to second slide.
Yeah, it's moved, sir.
Okay, thank you. I welcome you all for my presentation on the ESAP, an ICT system for crop health management. And as you could see, the logos on the top, it is entirely funded by the government of India through RKVY and as well as the government of Karnataka. And this application is designed and developed by my university under my leadership. And presently, this ESAP application is adopted by the government, and it is implemented throughout the Karnataka state under two important projects. One funded by the state agriculture department, and another one funded by the state horticulture department. And US Raichur is not alone in implementation of this, though it is a pioneer in designing and developing it. So for the implementation, especially for the content management and its integration, we have the knowledge partner drawing the experts from all the agriculture, horticulture university of Karnataka state, like UHS Bagalkot is there. Then so UAHS Shimoga, then UAS Bangalore, then UAS Dharwad, and also we have the ICAR IAHR scientist, and it's they are also included in the state expert the panel. Now, what exactly is the ESAP? ESAP, the long form of is the Electronic Solutions Against Agricultural Pests. So, which actually is a tool which empowers the field applicators or the field users, or we can say the extension officers of the government to independently diagnose any crop health problems. Okay, and also after identifying the problem, there is a mechanism for them to estimate the extent of the problem through the quantification process, and then an automated the prescription will come based on the intensity of the problem. Okay, and after providing the solution, then after some time, so they also have the option to take the feedback from the farmer to look at the success or the failure of the technology which has been given to the farmer. It's not only that not only working at the field level, but whatever the information is gathered during that process will all come to the web application and synthesizes into the real-time reports. And these reports are the multimedia reports, and so they can be viewed on a real-time basis by the administrators, the scientists, the policymakers, or any other the stakeholders who are directly or indirectly linked to the agriculture if they have given the access. So what are the major problems that it addresses? As a crop health, I told you, you know that the crops are mainly plagued by the major the biotic stresses, mainly the insect pest, what we call, and then the microbial diseases, and also they are susceptible to or suffer from the nutritional disorders due to the nutrient deficiency in the soil, and also by the weeds. So basically this application takes care of the biotic stress experienced by the crop, in fact. Okay, so the pest, what the meaning of the pest as a ESAP, as an agricultural pest? The pest isn't anything which causes the nuisance or losses to an organism. Okay, so that's why we have put a pest as a broader term under that. This is a workflow of the ESAP. So before getting into the functionality, I just would like to tell you that how it exactly going to operate. At the field level, you can see that he is the field user. The field user, I told you, can be an extension officer who actually will be having the ESAP application in his or her the mobile. And so when he or she visits a farmer, so initially they register the farmer, which is a one-time registration, and then there is an inbuilt an architecture which guides the field user in identification process. So in the diagnosis process, so they diagnose the problem independently, so without any expert support on the field. And after identification, it doesn't stop there, or it doesn't jump to the management or the advisory. So in between it also enables for the quantification of the problem. So what is the intensity of the problem also. Then the recommendation based on the intensity comes. It is not a general recommendation. Okay. And then after some time or some days, then there is a provision for the field user to take the feedback. So all this process up to the recommendation, from farmer registration to the recommendation, everything happens in the field without any kind of an expert support, and even without a network also. It is completely an offline process. So all this information, once there is a network is there, or when they enable the network, all this information goes to the server and then develops into the reports. The reports I told you is the multimedia in the form of GIS maps, graphs, charts, or even the CSV formats. And these can be viewed by the researchers, and then the departments, and also the policymakers. So whoever they can look at, and there is a lot of customization or filtration which happens, and they can actually look at all these things. This actually helps them for the taking a right decision within a very short period of time. In some cases, when the field user finds it difficulty in diagnosing the problem, which normally in our experience happens in 5 to 10% cases, then there is a provision for the field user to get connected to the expert, so which actually goes as an undiagnosed report. And the expert will have in a separate application in their mobile, and as soon as this undiagnosed report goes to them, so they can actually look into and then immediately diagnose the problem, and that will come back to the device, and which through which this device it can be pushed to the farm. And the third the wing of this is the knowledge. So as I was mentioning you in the earlier slide, that we have a huge knowledge partner group, and all the content, it might be the whatever the biostatic stress content, and then survey or the quantifying protocols, and the management content, everything after certification by the expert, then it will actually gets into the server, and that content is only available to the field user. Field user will not have an option to independently diagnose it and provide a solution to the farmer. In fact, then the fourth the wing of this ESAP application is the system admin, that is the IT partner. So the entire thing, since it works on the digital platform, we have an IT partner constantly associated with it, who looks at the content management system, then the software management, the device management. Okay, and all those things they will actually take care of it. And all the actions which happens on the field is on real time, and it's completely offline process. Okay. Now, after understanding that entire workflow of it, now let us go to what exactly it works, or how exactly it works. Basically, the ESAP, I call it as a system, not an application, because it is the combination of 3 applications. And basically, the one is the device application, which is an Android based, and it is useful for the extension worker in the field, and as well as for the experts. So there's the 2 applications in it. We call it one is a field application, and there's another one called as an expert application. Then the another the component in this is the web application. The web application, or web or the browser, which used for looking at the situation, what is happening in the field, as and when this information keeps flowing back to the server, then those things is going to be reflected in the form of multimedia reports. Okay. Now let us look at the one by one process. So this one, as is telling you, is a field application. So once the field user the registers the farmer, then the images are going to open up. See, the identification process is such a unique thing here which has been built. It is completely based on the image and voice assisted architecture. Okay, so there is no interference of the typing or some kind of any kind of an action by the field user. Simply it guides the field user through the process of identification. Say for example, is the first screen that appears will be of a crop. So he simply has to select the crop image. So that's where he is actually standing. And once he selects a particular crop, say for example sugarcane, he is selected, then the age of the crop images opens up. So tell that at which stage or the age the crop is, whether it is in 1 to 3 months old crop, 3 to 6 months old crop, so depending upon the duration of the crop. Once you select a suitable the crop age, then it opens up the crop parts. So on which part that the field user is actually seeing the problem, whether it is on the leaf or on the stem or on the whole plant. If it is a reproductive part, is a flower, fruit, pods, whatever it might be. Then once he select a suitable part, in this case sugarcane, he has selected the whole plant, then the symptoms image will open up. So which shows that on that particular stage of the crop, on that part, so what common symptoms are going to be appear. So now the job of the field user is only to match the what actually he is seeing in the field with the image that it has been opened up. So there is an option for him to look at the multiple images and also option to zoom in and then zoom out. So all these options are there. Only when those symptoms which he is actually seeing in the field, when it matches to him, and then he is going to select that image only. Okay. Once you select that image, then it opens up a further confirmatory images, such as whether there is an insect is present or if the disease is it is by the disease, then splitting of the stem or a root, and then looking for the discolorations, and all that images will open up, so that it actually filters down and then reaches to an accurate level actually. When say this image is confirmed, then when he clicks it, then it leads to the identification of the problem. So in this case, in one example that I have shown you, say it is actually the white grub or the root grub problem, which the immature stage of this has caused the wilting of the plant, and it is seen as a whole plant at this stage on this crop. Okay, to such an extent, so it goes and then guides the user for an accuracy. So based on our experience in the field, we have observed that up to 90 to 95% accuracy is there in identification of the problem, in fact. Okay, so this is a diagnostic process actually. Then once the problem is identified, then it doesn't stop here, or it doesn't suddenly jump to the management or advisory. So then it asks the user to collect some images. So it is actually going to enrich the knowledge to add those images further into the content management system to strengthen the identification process, or and also for the verification whether the field user has identified rightly or not. So that can also be checked out. So then after taking the images, then he will go to the survey protocol or the survey methodology. So when it goes to the survey methodology, then it gives out that how the survey process has to be done here. Okay, so he just simply has to follow this protocol, and then so whatever the number that is being shown here, and based on that it might be the count of the insect, or it might be the count of the plants which are affected, or it might be the count of the scoring level of the disease. Okay, so whatever it might be, whatever that survey protocol will tells us, accordingly those the figures will come and he simply has to click it. So there are various sampling process as a point sampling, taking one plant as a point. There's a block sampling, taking an area and then sampling on the group of plants, or a line sampling called as a row sampling, or simply there could be a visual observation also. Just look at that how at what extent the problem is there. This is all scientific protocols which needs to be formed. So then when he actually selects these figures and then submits it, then at the back end, so then it calculates then what is the intensity of the problem. So here we broadly categorize the problem into three levels, as the threshold level is the middle one, and it's a less than threshold level as a low intensity, threshold level as a medium intensity, and more than threshold level as the high intensity. Okay, because the recommendation is entirely depends on this the threshold level. So as soon as the survey is completed and submitted, then immediately so you get this screen where you can see the green, yellow and red, as I told you, as a low, medium and high intensity levels, and wherever the arrow mark sits it, accordingly the management practice will come. Say this one example on for this, if the intensity is low, then the management will be more of an softer ways such as the cultural method, the mechanical method, okay, biological method, so that need not have to go into the very serious way of spraying the insecticide and trying to control it. Okay. At the same time, if the while sampling the process, if the intensity becomes very high, as you can see the arrow mark here, then the advisory will be very entirely the different. So like that, so it actually enables the farmer to go for the advisory or the solution according to the intensity. So at the present application, if you look at, they simply provide a very general advisories, or they simply jump to the chemical application. So whereas this application with this kind of a process basically will help the farmer in reducing the cost of plant protection, and at the same time then saving the environment. So with simply the dumping of the pesticide as such. And so there is an option for the field user. As you can see, there is an aeroplane mark. Through that he can send this information directly to the farmer's mobile as an SMS, or there is also option for the printing. So we have actually enabled this the application connected to the small printer, is a Bluetooth connected printer, and if you just carrying that printer with them, then they can go to this option and then it prints out the prescription format. Okay, so that prescription contains the entire detail of the date and time when this advisory is given, and the farmer details, then the crop details on what crop, what stage, what part, then the pest detail, what is the pest, and then what is the intensity, and as well as the advisory. Just something like when a patient goes to the doctor and the doctor diagnoses and then prescribe it with all the details of the patient and also the diagnosis. So that way this works, and right in the farmer's field, so the farmer will get the advisory either to his mobile or as a prescription sheet. Nowadays the central government is thinking that any advisory given to the farmer should be on a prescription basis. There should be a prescription sheet. So in some states like in Telangana and Kerala, they are planning to implement that because that provides an authenticity. Okay, but this is a process that we have done it long back, and this is what we are actually doing it. Then I also told you that it actually also has an option for taking the feedback of the farmer. So normally it so happens that so today if a field user has gone to the farmer's field and diagnosed and provided the advisory, and then after 7 days then it opens up the follow-up option for him. so that the next week then the field user can contact the farmer over mobile, and then so he can get the feedback of the farmer that whether he has adopted the technology which has been told or adopted the solution, and if so then what is the extent of the control, and if he has not adopted, why he has not adopted. There are a series of questionnaires are there. He simply has to listen to the farmers and then click it and then submit it. So that actually completes the cycle of the management, in fact. So this not only ensures that the farmer is adopted or not, but also evaluates the technology. So if the field user gets the repeated failure of the solution or the technology, and through the farmer's feedback, then there is an what is called as a feedback from the field user to the experts telling that this is not working, and so something has to be changed in that. Okay, so that all thing is going to be looked at it here. And also it tells about the satisfaction level of the farmer, in fact. Now, another part while doing the process of diagnosis, I told you that 90 to 95% cases, a field user is able to identify the problem in the farmer's field and can able to solve the problem. But there is a 5 to 10% chances where if he has a confusion when while he is matching the symptom that he is seeing in the field with the image in the application, then only the expert will get into picture. So till then, so it's everything is done independently. Okay, so there is an option for the undiagnosed report or a malady. Okay, so he can click that, and when he clicks it, then it opens up a questionnaire. So where it asks that visually that when you look at it, to what extent the problem is there, and then he has to take a few images. So as a close-up image of the problem or a field or a plant or whatever it might be. And there is also option for him to capture the audio of the field user so that it is easy for the expert to get the confirmation, in fact. And then with the GPS capture, so then he can actually submit it successfully. So once he submit to the expert, then he need not to wait there for the reply of the expert. He can move on, and that application now, that information is now entirely shifted to the expert, in fact. Okay. So now if you look at the expert application, so when it goes to the expert application, expert has got a separate application which is exclusively meant for diagnosing the undiagnosed reports sent by the field user. Okay, so there the expert will get this report as an alert or as a pop-up, just like how do you get in WhatsApp the pop-ups, and then he can open it and he will get that whatever the list of unresolved things that he is getting, and the different colors indicates the intensity that has been recorded by the field user while submitting the UDM. And when he opens up, say for example banana he has opened up, then the expert will see whatever the images that field user has captured, and also he gets the farmer detail, the crop detail, and the farmer mobile number, the field user mobile details, etc. And there is also what is called as an audio. So he can also listen to the audio which is sent by the field user. So all this is quite sufficient for him. And there is also an option for a chat box where an expert, there will not be only one expert for that particular, there will be a group of experts. So an entomologist or pathologist or an soil scientist, an agronomist. So they are all will be in a group, so that if there is any kind of an conversations or the conversation should to happen, so then they can actually converse it through that chat box, and only after the confirmation then that will be sent by one expert. Once that expert sends that, then no other person can actually send it. Okay, so if it is already the problem which is listed in it, then the list will come and he simply has to click or select one of these and then send it back. Or if the problem is a new one, then there is an option for a new pest, and when they open this new pest option, so there the expert can type it and also give an ad hoc recommendation and then send it. So all these options are there given to the expert. So when he chooses the particular undiagnosed problem as a new problem, then an alert will come to the admin, so telling that a new problem has been identified. Okay, so that's how we can actually recognize or identify the new problem quite immediately. So these are the field application and as well as an expert application, which are Android based, and so one working in the field, the one with the expert, and they're doing it. Then the second component of it is a web application. So whatever the information that the field user or an expert, so they actually do deal with. So it all comes back and then develops into the reports. And as you can see it here, so there is a graphical representation, is a pie chart or a bar diagram, is a tabular form, and even the GIS maps and all which actually that comes. So this helps to the researchers in looking at the severity of a particular problem over a period of time or over an area. This is spatio-temporal. Then accordingly a decision can be taken, in fact. So if there is a serious problem of a particular problem, quite serious in a particular area, then an administrator can mobilize the resource in that area and give a more importance to that, something like that. Okay, and the GIS map which develops from this can be actually used for spatio-temporal analysis of the data. So we have done that. So and then that I will going to share you in later slides. And apart from this, this also manages the devices, additions, deletions of the devices, and all this actually can be done through this. Then content management system, whatever the content which actually comes here, that also which content has to go into the ESAP and then which content has to be taken out. If a new management practices comes, that has to be added, and new symptoms can be added, and all those things, and also the UDM management systems and all. So some of the unique features of the ESAP, if you look at the ESAP ensures that each extension worker has only those crops that are relevant to the location, and he has a location specific management plans, and it is available in the local language, and the location or crop specific experts to support. To such an extent it has got the diversity, in fact. Say for example, if one extension worker is working in south side of the Karnataka and one extension worker in the north side, in both the cases a paddy is grown and both have the paddy crop. The problem is same, say for example, in such cases the diagnosis will remain same, then the quantification will remain same. But the management, when it comes, then the person who are working in two different regions might get two different management practices because it depends upon the acceptability and adaptability of the farmer, in fact. So there is a location specific crop, location specific management practice is available and possible in ESAP. Then because this is the only application, I think, in the entire whatever the applications are available, where it actually quantifies the problem. So in most of the cases, after identification, they suddenly gives the management. But only in ESAP, we get the quantification and getting into the intensity. So because we are able to look at the intensity of the problem, then pushing an IPM practice. Say for example, IPM is integrated pest management. So where we integrate cultural, mechanical, biological, chemical, all that integration. So that is possible only when we look at the intensity of the problem. So that is possible in the ESAP application, and it discourages the generalized recommendations. So it doesn't give very general recommendation because it leads to a confusion in the farmer that which one has to be followed. Okay, and it's a concrete step towards the prescription based farming. So we need to provide. So when for our health we take so much care and we demand a prescription from the doctor, then why can't a farmer demands a prescription for his crop? So which is also a health issue for that. So we actually have achieved this through this. and it empowerment of the extension worker and connects with experts only when necessary and discourages self-diagnosis by the farmer. So it's again independently works. Only at certain cases it connects to the experts. Something like you can say that when you, for some common ailment, we go to a general physician, and when general physicians find that it is needs a more diagnosis and confirmation, he recommends to a specialist. So then only we'll go to the specialist. In a similar way, most common things will be solved at the field level by the extension worker, and in some cases only it will be pushed to an expert, and it discourages the self-diagnosis. It is not in the hands of the farmer. Many of now might be thinking that if it is so user-friendly, then why can't we give it to the farmer's hand itself? But we still not have gone into that level, because the farmer's level of diagnosis is a little like questionable. Some farmers might actually diagnose accurately, but many farmers will make a mistake. If they make a mistake in identification, then the whole process will become a mistake. It ends up in a wrong solution and simply unnecessary spending of the money on a wrong the management practice. And another most important thing is that because it gathers very valuable and authenticated data, so this data can be used in integrating with the other abiotic factors such as the weather parameters, soil factors, farmers practice, and then come out with the forewarning or the what is called as an alert systems. Okay, so developing a forewarning systems. So, and of course, the ESAP application is not very new. That means not recently developed. It has completed almost a decade of its the development, the research, and the deployment. And this you can see it design and development of the ESAP happened exactly 10 years back, 2011-12, in the University of Agricultural Sciences, Raichur. Then for the next 3 years, we actually rigorously evaluated in the farmers field here in this region on a pilot study, got a state and as well as the national attention, and we did an evaluation on nearly on 100,000 farmers field, so nearly 1 lakh farmers field, and this evaluation was closely monitored and further evaluated by the third party, especially IIM Bengaluru, who we are proud to say that we are associated with IIM Bengaluru in 2 projects, and wherein they rigorously evaluated ESAP application. And looking at it, the other universities of the state also came forward and started adopting the ESAP application. And looking into its success and also the potential, then in 2017-18, the government of Karnataka decided to adopt it throughout Karnataka, and that's how the adoption by the Agriculture Department first and later by the Horticulture Department actually happened. So at the present moment, so both the departments are actually having the ESAP application as a mandatory application for the crop health management. I just also would like to show you that how the data which is generated during our pilot study could be used for developing the risk assessment maps. So here you can see that this is one district. The one district is this is a Kalburgi district in North Karnataka, and where we actually got archived data of the ESAP. We actually took it, especially on the leaf hoppers in cotton ecosystem, and developed the pest distribution maps, and you can see the variation in the intensity of the pest in 3 different years, and this variation we could actually find out when we integrated with the temperature and as well as the rainfall. So when we and this is called as the risk assessment map, which tells you that so under certain pockets the pest was quite high, and this was because of the low rainfall and higher temperature, which is triggering that. So this pest, especially leaf hopper, is always favored by a prolonged dry condition or a drought situation, and when that happens, then the population triggers and comes into a lot of the intensity, in fact. So this helps us that whenever there is a prolonged or a little longer drought condition, then we always can expect the occurrence of this pest in huge population. Okay, so that kind of the risk assessment can be actually made. So at present, we have 52 agriculture and horticulture crops integrated in ESAP application. So as you can see, there are 20 agriculture crops here, which are grown in almost all the parts of the Karnataka, related to pest, disease and disorders. And this is a list of 20 horticulture crops which have been done. And apart from this, the another 12 crops have added very recently, which includes the most of the flower crops, then the crops grown in the protected cultivation actually. So like the greenhouse, glass house conditions, that also has been actually added into this. And if you look at the deployment situation, basically the number of users at present are around 3,500 users. So among which the State Agriculture Department users around 1,032, Horticulture Department around 1,000, then our university faculty around 390. Then apart from that, we also have given to several NGOs who have came forward and shown interest in adopting the ESAP application, and 38 users are there in various NGOs. And another thing is students. So our final year students will have the village exposure, where they will go to the village and stay there for about 2 to 2.5 months, interact with the farmer. So for those final year students, we train them and we also provide the ESAP application, where using this application, they have in fact diagnosed a lot of problem and provided solution to the farmer, in fact. This is the map, GIS map, where you can see that it's completely filled with the spots where the field diagnosis has been done by the department officers, and it comes in a different colors. So which indicates that the green is the lower, the yellow is medium, and the red is higher. And by clicking any one of these points, then you get a complete picture of the farmer details, the crop detail, and the pest detail, and also the management. So everything is going to come into this, and you can filter those reports by the what is called as the time wise, then region wise, and also the crop wise, pest wise. A lot of customization we have added. In fact, we can go up to a village level to get a report, and you also can get the reports the user wise. So this particular user from between this period, so how many field visits he has made. Okay, or you can get the scenario of the cotton crop at present day for the last 1 week. So in Karnataka, what are all the problems which have become? So like that, we can have a lot of the customization which can actually be done. And this is the what is called as the reports which are generated by the students. I told you RAVE students. RAVE means rural agriculture work experience, those who are there in the field. So in fact, in the last year, there was very challenging situation for our agriculture universities because there were no offline classes. Students were not in the university. They are all gone to their homes, but still we managed to complete that course because of this ESAP application. So that's why we see that the students wherever they are throughout Karnataka, so they could able to go to the nearest farmer's field and diagnose the problem and then report it back. So especially in the COVID pandemic situation, the applications like this has come into a very handy, and this shows that even at the difficult situations, the students or the officers could be able to connect to the farmer and then look at the problems existing in the farmer's field, and then diagnose it and provide the advisory to them, in fact. So this is the last slide I just would like to share to you, where this was a moment when the Krishi Sanjeevani program, which was one of the very prestigious program by the government of Karnataka, launched in January 2021, and wherein the Krishi Sanjeevani is a kind of mobile plant health clinic program. So ESAP application is an integral part of it actually, and there they have the devices, and the person who goes to the field on the request of the farmer, so he can able to diagnose the problem and provide the solution. So this was launched in the January month, in fact. Okay, so I this all actually I would like to I wanted to share to you, and we'll stop here. And if there are any questions from your end, I'm happy to respond to that. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful information, wonderful and valuable information. Participants, if you have any queries, please you can unmute yourself and ask sir, or you can post it in the chat box. Sir will be with us for a few more minutes. So they will be posting the questions in the chat box, and we will be consolidating, and we will be mailing it to you, sir.
Okay. Fine,
Yeah.
madam.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful and valuable information. So we, on behalf of the staff, students, management, principal of the Department of Biotechnology, the Oxford College of Engineering, extend to you a heartfelt gratitude for giving such an excellent talk in spite of your busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you all for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Participants, with the kind consent of the convener, we are closing this session 2 of day 5. So we will be starting the session 3 at 2 o'clock. Please do join at 2 o'clock with the same link provided. Thank you.